I'm actually quite introverted. My lifestyle is I'm either at home or, I rarely go out and things like that. And I think cycling has made me a bit more confident in a way of just, just saying like, just joining like, when I make these group rides, right? The first time I did it, I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous. I was really scared. Not because I was worried how many people would come, but it's more like that social aspect of like, okay, these are going to be new people. I don't know them. I'm really scared. But then over time, it's just sort of helped me become a bit more confident. And because I do socials, people every now and then would like call my name out, and it's more like the shyness kind of faded away over time. And
interesting,
which is quite nice in a way. And it then expands to your personal life when you have to do like, work or you meet other people. It's helped quite a lot.
Welcome to Ride to Success, the podcast that takes you on a learning journey to a more productive, creative, and active life through the power of the bike. I'm your host, Pedro Couto Lopes. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'll leave a link on the show notes. And today's guest is Rainier Charles Ong, also known as the Avocado Cyclist. He is a content creator, marketing consultant, and a community builder who didn't even learn how to ride a bike until he was 16. Yet, today he's inspiring thousands through cycling with his storytelling and humor. But this isn't about a story about social media success. It's about Ray's journey. Through his conversation, he reveals that you don't need to be the fastest, the strongest, or the most serious to belong in cycling. You can build something powerful simply by being yourself. And sometimes the most impactful thing you can do is just make people feel welcome. So stay with us until the end of this episode, because you'll get to hear how a stress-induced illness forced Ray to completely rethink his priorities and life as a result. And also the surprising reason he refuses to call himself an influencer, and how he's quietly building one of the most inclusive cycling communities where anyone can show up, no matter the bike, the background, or the experience. Before we get into this podcast, if you enjoy this conversation, make sure to follow Ride to Success wherever you listen. That's the best way to show us that you like the show and for other people to discover the podcast. Now, let's get into this conversation. Welcome, Ray, to Ride to Success. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant. So I wanted to, a lot of people know you from social media. You are a London-based cyclist.
Yep.
And, a lot of the things you show on social media are fun, are engaging. People get entertainment value out of what you produce. But I want to kind of start opening the avocado, if you will, to kind of use the analogy that, Avocado Cyclist, as you go by your handle on Instagram. And I want to first understand how cycling came to be part of your identity. How did you get into cycling?
Okay, so I started cycling very late, actually. I only learned how to ride a bike when I was 16.
Okay.
So I was in Canada on holiday. My auntie was there. She taught me how to ride a bike. And then from there, I've kind of been I really liked cycling because of the aspect of just the freedom of it. Like you can go far away, like you just get the fresh air and things like that. So I've been cycling since I was 16, and I still remember when I was so this was before I was really into road cycling. Road cycling sort of came in maybe like a lot of people COVID time. So I really got into it. But there was a period of I think it was between 2016 till about 2019, I was living in Taiwan. And I was every night or whenever I could, I would just rent a bike out and I'll just cycle around. Wow. So it kind of just became a thing where I really enjoyed, because there was a freedom to it. You're kind of just in your own thought. You kind of just forget about everything. So it was more that peace that I got.
Yeah. What is I don't know if you're part of the cycling scene in Taiwan, but I'm curious, what was it like? Because I imagine that in China we know, I say we, from the media that I see, that they're cycling, e-bikes, e-mopeds, they are very popular because it's an easy way of getting around. And I wanted to understand if Taiwan is a similar case where there is quite a popular method of transport.
Yeah. So it's cycling is more the most popular is by moped and cars transport because it's too hot there. So people would usually, and I think this is common in most parts of Asia, where if you really want to get into cycling as like what we do here in London, it's more like you do it early in the morning. So in the Philippines as well, because I just came back from holiday there, we'd start at like 4 a.m. and you'd be finished by like and then you'd have to finish by like 10 because it's too hot. 10, like 12 latest, like midday latest, because it's too hot. Your skin's gonna burn. People get strokes and stuff like that, so they don't sort of go past. But I know that they do like events and stuff like that in like Asia that goes on throughout the whole day. So they base it on like when it's cooler. So most of the time that they have the events there, it's more winter period. Not like here in the UK where it's all the summertime. But in general, I think when I was in Taiwan, I didn't really get to see the road cycling scene much because I was kind of like just, those like Santander bikes where you can just rent it out and then you just cycle. So in Taiwan, what's nice is that they have the river and basically it's just only for cyclists. So you can basically just go on that. You're away from the cars and it's really nice. So I was just mostly doing that when I was there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, so you mentioned that you got introduced to bikes in Canada through your aunt, and then kind of you really took into like the road cycling scene as most people did with COVID.
Yeah.
And, and kind of you've kind of been on a journey with that.
Yeah.
And I wanted to understand for you cycling right now, what does that represent for you? Is it like an escape or not? Is it part of your identity now?
Yeah.
I think, or is it something else entirely?
So I think for me, it's still an escape. Like I usually like going, like especially when I have like say for the weekend, I like doing my long rides, getting out of the city, exploring new places. So that's more still the main thing for me. It's just that
I freedom,
just the freedom of it. Like I don't race. I'm not into racing or anything like that. But I like to do challenges because I'm quite into fitness as well. So I like to challenge myself by doing the long distances. So it's more just that aspect of it, of just enjoying the bike with your friends, having fun. Doesn't matter how fast or slow you go. You kind of just all stay together and just kind of enjoy it. So like my girlfriend got into cycling as well. So I'm enjoying it a lot more with her now as well because she's enjoying it the way that I am enjoying it, where we don't have to worry about, what's your average speed? What's your power? We don't talk about that kind of stuff. So it's essential. It's really just about the freedom that you get. And obviously for when I do content as well, and when I include it, it's just more, I want to share to people where I go, the kind of places that I see, so that if they do want to try it out, because I make a lot of routes on commute and I always share my routes to people. I'll go like, if you want to try the route, just go check it out here. And then everything's there for them to try.
Yeah. So, I think cycling is for a lot of people an opportunity to escape, to be in the present, to explore, see the sights. And through the pedaling motion, you get to kind of stimulate your brain and like enjoy being in the outdoors. And I think that's everyone at some level will resonate with that. That's the beauty of cycling. That's the beauty of riding bikes, not just road cycling or mountain biking.
Exactly.
Any bike.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of the key things that I guess is important to acknowledge is that you I believe affectionately like call yourself your favorite Pinoy cyclist.
Yeah.
So, for the people that don't understand what that means, because that will resonate with a particular cultural people from a particular cultural background, can you give us an understanding of what that phrase means?
Yeah. So Pinoy basically just means Filipino. So Pinoy is Filipino, the male version, and then Pinay is the female version. So it's more of a play on like kind of a joking, it's your favorite Filipino cyclist in London kind of thing, right? Just kind of a jokey kind of way. Like it's not really serious. And it's just because, it was just kind of a bit of fun, really.
So I wanted to get to that point because it's important also because you were born in London, you're raised in London, but your Filipino cultural heritage is very much how you identify yourself.
Yeah.
And that's also in some way how you come across through social media. And it's also an important point because it's through that cultural heritage, through that cultural background, I believe that's how you kind of came into cycling and try to find your tribe, if you will.
Yeah.
And I wanted to understand if, having a cultural heritage as being Filipino, is that, was that helped you to shape how you wanted to be perceived, how you wanted to be included in with other people that were also kind of saw themselves as cultural heritage from Filipinos?
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense what you're trying to say. So yeah, I think in a way, yes, because most of the time when you go to Philippines, or people would say like Filipinos are known to be very, nice to people, very welcoming, funny, approachable. We always whenever I'm in the Philippines, I'm just always having fun with my family and friends. Like we don't take anything too seriously. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with the people as well. And like, apart from that, also the food, the culture, things like that, because, just to sort of share what I grew up with. Just especially the sense of humor side of what a lot of Filipinos have.
I mean, I'm just being curious. I'm trying to understand as well a little bit more about how you kind of, the person, Ray, the person, and now the different parts put together, like, because often sometimes on social media you only get to see one side of that person. You don't get to see the 360 view. So I'm trying to kind of help the listener and the viewer build that picture.
Yeah.
And so when we strip away the Instagram, the content creation side, the YouTube, the TikTok, kind of who are you as a person? Like if cycling was not part of your kind of identity, who would you be? Or is that a pointless question to ask?
No, it's not a pointless. It's good to kind of ask just so that people know. I mean, I think I'd still be the same. Like what you see, how I am, like let's say for YouTube, I think people really see my personality there, and it is basically how it is in my content. Like I literally just wanna, like originally I've always wanted to make people laugh, and I found a way to do it through cycling. Like there's a specific niche. Like I'm not as good as a comedian, but I'm good at just making the people around me laugh. So it's kind of like I've just portrayed myself, but using cycling as a sort of, let's say, theme to it in a way. So yeah, it's still the same kind of thing. Like I think cycling just added onto it.
Yeah. So it became as you kind of became more interested in cycling, in road cycling, that's became your way as well, your vehicle to express yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the kind of the funny, the comedian element to it is added a layer to that. I wanted to. It's kind of interesting to kind of to that that aspect of wanting to making people laugh. Is there a moment where kind of you, like, because obviously you didn't start this immediately, but your personality carried a lot. So was there always kind of from starting road cycling post-COVID, where you became aware that actually there is something here? Like, you mentioned I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy being the center of attention, if you will. Is there a point of like there is more here that I can? How did your how did that grow organically? Like from a recreational to then becoming kind of a brand ambassador, working with brands and so on.
I think for me, when I started the whole thing, it was more like I wasn't really thinking about it. I just wanted to add a bit of humor to sort of cycling, because I think when I started, so I've been doing just for under 2 years now, and when I started it, it was all very serious. People racing and things like that. I never really saw the funny side of it. So when I started it, I just kind of like, okay, let me just do it. I had no thought. Like I didn't expect to be brand ambassador for brands. So, and then luckily, like 6 months later, because a few of my reels kind of got viral, Valve's, I got my first sponsorship with Valve Spikes, and from there, And until this day, like, I think there's still something there, but it hasn't really hit me yet in a way where, like, I never call myself an influencer. My friends are like, no, you're an influencer. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't really see. I think for me, it's more like I'm just a content creator. I don't think I have an influence in cycling per se, just because I don't talk about the serious side of cycling. I don't talk about the, how to get stronger and things like that. Mine is literally just on the humor side of just making people laugh, and just sharing my experiences. But I think, in regards of, like, as you said, like, do you think if there's more to it? I think there is, but I'm not sure what yet. I'm just sort of just posting what I feel like, what I want to post, and then just see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of all valid, and I think it kind of helps to build a better picture and understanding of kind of the journey you've been on. And one of the things that also is important to acknowledge is that, and correct me if I'm wrong, also being from Filipino heritage, coming into cycling, that perhaps there is some barriers that I don't see, but you will see.
Yeah.
There are maybe a lack of cycling groups, a lack of awareness. So, what was your experience coming into, especially London is very multicultural.
Yeah.
But still in cycling, that cannot be probably is not the case.
Yeah.
So I wanted to understand, what was your experience, because it's, there are many groups that cater, and when we to cater to all identities, to all preferences.
Yeah.
But some, for a space to feel truly inclusive, you need to make that person feel included rather than just invite them along. You need to create that space to actually have the acceptance, the tools, the people. So what was your experience coming into the cycling scene?
Yeah, I think for the Asian community per se, there isn't much sort of a community or awareness about it. That's what I've noticed. I've joined like club rides, let's say with Via, for example, in London and things like that. I mean, I don't really see much Asians per se. So I think over time, like, one of my goals is to sort of just give more awareness to Asian cyclists and sort of, show them that, you can get into this sport and enjoy it as well. You don't have to be a tall, skinny guy, or like you don't have to be athletic or things like that. Like, you can, no matter what your color is, your weight, your height, whatever it is, it's for everyone. And it's one of those things where, so when I started YouTube as well, there's this, like, sometimes when I join the club rides, and this was before like the whole sponsorship things, I just never felt I fit in, because everyone was like, oh yeah, you need to have this expensive bike, you need to wear these kind of things. And like, back then I was like wearing the Amazon kits and stuff like that. And so, like, I said to myself when I started, like, if I ever do sort of have sort of a presence online, I want to build a community where it's welcome for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're Asian, white or black. It doesn't matter if you ride a Brompton, you ride those, like, the ones with the baskets and stuff like that. So like, we do like a ride every Wednesday in Richmond Park when it's like summer and stuff. And there's guys who come in with Bromptons who join us. There's a guy who has like this low rider bike that riders like, look, come do laps with us. I'll stay with you. We'll just chill, take it easy. So it's more like, and I think this is again from the Filipino heritage of you're welcoming to everyone. Yeah. So it's kind of just like, I want to showcase what Filipino culture is like in that way. So it's like, everyone's welcome. Doesn't matter if you wear this or you have that. If you want to ride a bike, you've got 2 or 4 wheels on a bike, or you've got an electronic bike, e-bike, you're welcome to join.
Yeah. I mean, that's so important, because it not only creates a space, but also makes sure that people want to come. Yeah. Because what they see, that everyone, regardless of what they ride, what the equipment is, can feel comfortable coming in and feeling supported as well along the process. And you created a club like that started like by joining your friends, called Too Much Carbs. And was that kind of the and kind of with the ambition of opening up doors and saying, like you identified, we are not well represented.
Yeah.
Let's create a space where we can welcome more people
Yeah.
that feel that they're not represented as well in
Yeah.
cycling.
I don't think it's more for more representation. It's more
Okay.
more for welcoming people. Don't as I said earlier, it's more for like, it's not just for like Asians per se. It's more like whatever bike you have, more than welcome to come. There's no, like I always say, when it comes to the rides that we do, there's no egos. If you have an ego, then you should join a different person, because you know it's not something that I will tolerate myself. Because I'm like, you know, if someone wants to ride slow, let them ride slow. I'll stay. Like whenever I host a ride, I always stick with the slowest person, because I'm like, it's not nice to leave them behind. You know,
No.
and so it's more like it's more just welcoming for everyone. It doesn't mean it's just for like it's an Asian community. But what I do notice is that there is a big amount of Asian riders within our group. And I think it's just because, you know, we started it and it's more of an Asian community, but we do have a lot of different people in it as well. So it is quite nice. Like it's a very open group. Like, as I said, the guy who rides with us that has a Brompton, he's got a 12 speed Brompton and he's fast. He like beats me up the climbs. And I'm like, holy moly, guys. This guy is, it's nice. It's nice kind of thing when you see like people with not expensive road bikes doing that kind of thing as well.
Yeah. I mean, to your earlier point, you know, it's not nice when you come to, you see like that the opportunity to ride bikes with the club, with a bike shop ride, and you turn up and people start commenting on your kit, you know, without you asking for for their opinion. And so if they start saying, well, you should get that, you should get this, it becomes, you start to become, you know, not perhaps rejected is too strong a word, but you start to see, okay, there's an element here that they clearly defined. Okay, this is what a cyclist is supposed to look like. And that's not really what you're trying to do. And I think it's important to kind of put a line under this. Like cycling bikes for everyone to experience and enjoy. So you know, there are already infrastructural barriers, social economical barriers, political barriers to getting into riding bikes. Let's not exclude more than already is there out there.
It's like what I tell my friends. It's like just remember when you were a kid, you rode a bike. It didn't matter what you wore. It didn't matter what bike you had. At the end of the day, you were just out there to have fun with your friends, and it should always be like that, right? It shouldn't. You know, it's fine. It's good to, you know, if you want to be fast, you can be fast. That's perfect. So that's why we do have a faster group for those who want to ride fast. But at the end of the day, it's like you're riding a bike. You know, just enjoy it. Get some therapy in it. You know, don't take it too seriously, because life is already serious as it is. Just enjoy it as much as you can. You know, there's too much stuff going on. Don't don't add more stuff on something that you could enjoy.
Yeah. So what's it? I mean, we're still on the kind of your heritage, and I think it's important to like delve a bit more into this topic, because coming from a place of curiosity, I'm interested to understand if there is something unique or something that, you know, I don't know, perhaps that is particular or of interest about the Asian or Filipino cycling community that it would be of relevance for us to better understand. I mean, as a kind of from a place of being open and curious.
I don't think there's much. I think it's all the same, more or less. I think the only thing that's different, again, is just more the welcoming aspect. So when we went to Philippines, just recently, you know, we didn't know anyone. The first time that I went, I was by myself last year, and I didn't know anyone when I was there. But then, you know, my friend introduced me to one guy called Alex, who then introduced me to everyone there, a cycling club there. And, you know, they were very welcoming in regards of like, you know, they were like, oh, we can take you to this place. You can cycle up here. And then they even toured me around the city, which is really nice. Right. And I don't think I've seen that here in the UK in particular. And I think, again, that's that hospitality bit thing of like, you know, we're very welcoming. We want someone if you're not a local, to enjoy where you're staying and things like that. So, and the second time that we went recently, I was with my girlfriend Daphne and my friend Jasper, and it was really nice because it was supposed to be a 2-day cycling only, ended up being 5 because we were enjoying it so much. They took us to like, they picked us up. We went to their place at 4. They drove us somewhere to cycle, which is a different place from Manila. We met more people, it was really nice. And I think that's one thing that you don't really see here.
Yeah. I mean, it's an interesting topic because I'm originally from Portugal, and Portuguese people are also known for their hospitality, for their friendliness, and that's something that maybe is part of being close to the Mediterranean, which is part of the Mediterranean culture, which is more friendly, more open, and welcoming. Not to say that the British culture is not, but there is an element of a British culture that is more closed up.
Yeah.
So, there is an element of feeling a bit pushed away.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to work harder to really get to know people, fit in, and kind of break the first kind of almost an invisible barrier. And I think that was my experience coming to UK. Kind of that was a bit of a coldness to the aspect of the being social. And that's something that I had to kind of work to understand better and also to overcome.
Yeah.
And, it's interesting because you have, a different understanding as well of from different cultures.
Yeah.
And it's kind of is a very valuable asset to have because, you Filipino heritage, but growing up in London, you can kind of balance those two elements.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is what I have, and this is what I can see, and then how do I merge these together? And I'm kind of interested as well to understand is that what elements have you taken from for instance this experience of traveling to the Philippines, riding there, being welcomed, but also from your family? Like, what things that you cherish the most about that heritage, about that the people that you met along the way in these travels, and that you feel like has really stayed with you?
Yeah, I think it's more it's just the welcoming aspects. Like I grew up with, so like my family has a policy to our friends and family members. We have an open door policy. If you want to come by, come by. If you want to hang out, you just give us a call. And I think that's one thing that I've brought here as well. So like, I do get approached by people and things like that. And I always tell them, oh, if you want to ride, come join. Let's do a ride together. Give me your, Instagram or whatever. And a lot of the people that I've met who's approached me because they saw my YouTube and they've become good friends with me now because I'm like, oh yeah, let's just ride. And I think it's just that welcoming aspect of like, we're all doing the same thing. Let's all enjoy it together.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that's so important because, like as I said previously, there are already many barriers that, whether it is visible or invisible, that it's much easier when we can just extend our hand, break those barriers down, and just bring more people into cycling, to riding bikes, because that's the best way we can enjoy time together.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, do you, as cycling change you since you started it? It's like personally, in a personal level?
I think in a way it's because I'm actually quite introverted. My lifestyle is I'm either at home or, I rarely go out and things like that. And I think cycling has made me a bit more confident in a way of just, just saying like, just joining like, when I make these group rides, right? The first time I did it, I'm not going to lie, I was really nervous. I was really scared. Not because I was worried how many people would come, but it's more like that social aspect of like, okay, these are going to be new people. I don't know them. I'm really scared. But then over time, it's just sort of helped me become a bit more confident. And because I do socials, people every now and then would like call my name out, and it's more like the shyness kind of faded away over time, and which is quite nice. in a way, and it's sort of like it kind of like then expands to your personal life when you have to do like, you know, work or you meet other people. It's helped quite a lot.
Yeah. I find that very valuable for you to share with us, because it's an insight that I can resonate with. One, because of my experience as well, getting into cycling.
Yeah.
And at the time where I was quite depressed, and cycling gave me the opportunity to get out of that depression, to meet new people, enjoy the outdoors, be in the present, experience the freedom. And kind of with that, you know, there was like a sharp kind of steep curve of going from very low in my mood, in my self-confidence, and then kind of through meeting people, through going on rides, through being outdoors, that I felt more confident, more outgoing, more social. And that's kind of is a huge benefit of riding bikes. That's the the endorphins kick in.
Exactly.
Like you feel more positive as well. It's important because what you share is important, because when you get to see and experience what you get on social media, you know, it's very much one-sided. You get only to see a small fraction of what that person is. But through what you shared, it kind of reveals a different story. It reveals the journey I've been on, kind of from feeling more, as you said, introverted, and now feeling more confident in expressing yourself. And you know, that shows on the socials. And kind of it's you know, it speaks to the power of, you know, not only you were able to get more active through riding bikes, you got more, I guess, through that journey, but more creative and productive through your output on social media.
Definitely,
and perhaps even the most important benefit of that is that your personality has been shifting, and that is huge benefit. I think that it's no short achievement.
Like
in terms of getting where you are now.
Because I remember when I first started content making, I was just doing basically like B-roll with like fonts and text. That was it. And then over time I was like, okay, let me try doing some voiceover stuff. And that took about 1.5 years before I started doing all that, because I wasn't confident in myself to do it. And it kind of just, it puts you like, it makes you just do that plunge and just be like, just do it. Because when you do like the challenges yourself, it's like, oh, I just did this. If I can do this, and then I can do this. So it kind of like whatever challenges that you do on a bike ride, for example, it kind of, then you can just tell yourself, oh, I did this, then I can do this. It kind of like links together. And that's where sort of like, it will help people sort of become more positive and confident in themselves in that way.
Yeah, precisely. It's you know, I think that riding bikes, because you want to push yourself, and the momentum also carries you. So you get into that place where you challenge yourself, not in a very kind of extreme way, but you want to push forward. You want to keep progressing. You want to keep getting better, and that also pushes you as a person to understand that, well, hold on, I've achieved this, or whether I rode my first 10K ride, or I rode my first century, and then you start to understand that, like, actually, I can do much more than I think I can.
And
that's a huge mind shift.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So, you know, one of the questions that I wanted to ask, because I'm curious, I touched upon earlier on in a conversation, is about your handle and Avocado Cyclist. And it's memorable, it's playful. And I wanted to understand if there was if there was like a particular intention with it.
So this is again the fun aspect. So this is where you'll see the whole Filipino culture, where it's like all about just having fun and stuff like that. So I'm not a typical cyclist where I'm very skinny, and I'm quite, you know, on the heavier side. And so I made a joke. It was originally a joke, and it was basically, I said, oh, it's avocado because I'm like an avocado. I made out of good fats. So so that's why I was like, okay, let's do Avocado Cyclist because I'm quite on the bigger side. And, when people ask, I'll just say that. And then the account grew. And I was like, oh no, I'm stuck with it. So I'm like, oh no, I'm stuck. And then now like it's quite nice because people come up to me and goes, oh, Avo or Avocado. It's quite nice. Like I'm still not used to people calling me that. And then I was like making another joke with my friend and my girlfriend when we were in Philippines. I was like, I should have changed my name to Pogi because Pogi means, it's not Pogacha, but in Filipino language, Pogi means handsome. So I was like, oh damn. So if I had Pogi and people go, hey Pogi, I'm like, it's me. It's like a little joke kind of thing. But yeah, so it kind of just stuck with Avocado kind of thing. And yeah, it just it was one of those playful things that, again, when I started this whole thing, I didn't expect my account to grow kind of thing. And then it got to the point where it's like, oh no, it's too late to change it. People know me as this now. So it just stopped. But again, people say it's nice because it's different and it sticks, it sticks out more. So I am,
precisely.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's that's a brilliant story because it makes you one very personable, also very very relatable. I'm sure many people will relate to that story.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that is kind of bashed around quite a lot in the space of social media is being authentic with the authenticity part of content creation.
Yeah.
And I wanted to understand from your side, what does mean for you being authentic?
Yeah. I mean, I literally just base it on my own experiences. So it's more like, a lot of the content that I've made is because I've experienced it. Like I made a joke, I made a reel once that went really viral, and I did see other content creators copy it. And for me, it's like, oh, look, it means I've made it, because if other people are copying me, it means I did something wrong. It's right. But it's more like the content was more like, how do you save money cycling? And I put, don't stop. Right. And, and that was kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, if I didn't start cycling, I wouldn't be putting too much money on it. So it's all based on sort of what I've experienced that I put it on. Obviously, there's other people that I take idea from, but it's more like I always tailor it to what I've experienced. And if it's something that I haven't experienced, then I wouldn't put it in.
Yeah. No, that's an important aspect to stress. But again, it's a fine line, I feel, because people will say, oh, this is my authentic self. I'm here for you guys, and like all these things that are communicated via social media. But that's sometimes is not actually truth. It might be just a persona, if you will. And that's kind of is a fine balance. So and I think that's one of the things that kind of strikes me with content creation is that is very much a 24/7 job, really.
Yeah, it is.
You from my understanding is like you're always thinking about,
oh yeah,
what can I do, and then you there is always an opportunity to create content. And you kind of, that takes over a little bit of your life. As at any point that kind of content creation part has become like kind of sometimes overbearing?
For me, it hasn't yet, thank God. It hasn't, because for me, it's more so I'm originally quite a creative person anyway. So like my girlfriend will vouch for this. Is like, ideas come to me at the most randomest times. So I always have my phone with me, or like when I'm in bed, I have a notebook, and it'll be like, we're just about to sleep, and I'm like, oh shoot, I have an idea. So I have to get my phone out, and I'll just make a note of it. And then so that the next day I'll review it, and my girlfriend's like, it's time for bed. What are you doing? I'm like, wait, I've got an idea. Let me just write it down and things like that. So I've been quite lucky in that regard, where it hasn't really, I know people get like creators block and things like that, but I think also for me, it's more because I base everything on what I experience. I can easily sort of put it into a content that way. So it's more like, I'm not trying to be too crazy about it. I'm not trying to be too sort of like, recently I've been posting stuff about Philippines, and that's sort of been quite easy to do because it's basically what I experienced in the Philippines. So, and I just base it all around that.
And returning to the topic of Philippines, because that's such is kind of an interesting window for me personally, and I'm completely being honest here. Like, I don't know a whole lot about the Philippines or the cycling culture there. And you mentioned about kind of a very stark contrast between your experience cycling there versus here when you started out. And kind of one trying to understand as well, have you tried to carry kind of that essence from your travels into kind of your club, or your rides?
I think again it's just a welcoming aspect that I've experienced there. That's the only thing that I sort of bring and stuff like that. Like, I wish I could bring the food culture, but there's a lot of things that we can't bring over here and things like that. But I think it's just more, again, the one that really stuck to me. And I think this is just not Philippines. I think this is Asia in general, because there's also there's always that sense of community in Asia, and it's just that, everyone's welcome. Everyone's, we're a community. We stay together, and that's something that I try to bring over here. Like, I've always, it's more like, if people, like, I've got friends who's messaged me who's like, they want to start making content. I'm like, just do it and I'll help you out. Like, I'm not going to gatekeep what I do if you want to do something. Because again, for me, it's more like, I still feel very blessed that I'm in a situation that I am. And I know it's not because of me. It's because people it's more like people supported me, and they're the ones that I appreciate. So I think for me, it's always, I try to just always give back. And that's, again, the aspect of what I've learned that they have in the Philippines, where you just, help when you can, you welcome people when you can. And that's something that I've always done when I started cycling here.
Yeah. Well, where do you think that that cultural kind of those cultural values of being welcoming, wanting to help out, being open doors, where from your experience, where do you think that originates from in the Filipino culture?
I actually don't know. I think I was just brought up like that. Even though I grew up here in the UK, we've always been brought up like that. And I think it's just they're very family orientated. And I think that's where it comes from. Because even my family in the Philippines, they're always like, yeah, we've got an open door policy. If you want to come down, just come down. There'll be food. If we're not at home, there'll be food there. So just eat. And that's the kind of thing that I grew up with, that sort of kind of, that I'm just kind of used to, I guess. And so when I bring it to cycling here, again, it's like, when I meet people that, say hi to me, I don't sort of distance myself from them. I'm like, oh, let's go for a ride together. Oh, let's do this, if you want to do. And that's why a lot of the people that I've met through social, who, like, for example, one of my close friends now, Jasper, he actually just started messaging me on Instagram. And 2 years later, we've become really close friends. And, I've got a few other friends like Ryan, who I've recently started cycling with, Michael, all these kind of guys. And, I just told them, let's ride together. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think of myself as someone who's, because I do content, I don't think I'm still the same as everyone. I'm going to welcome everyone. If you want to ride with me, let's just go for a bike ride.
So, I mean, I think that's, it's interesting. I was asking that question because, is an interesting side of the kind of country's cultures, how, and also how that shapes you as a person, because obviously that it will shape you, but it's, when you move to another country like myself, but you were born here, but you still have parents that kind of instill those values in you. It's so important because it gives you a different perspective, allows you to see cultural social interactions in a very different light than if you were like just kind of purely raised kind of with British parents. I'm just trying to. It's kind of is interesting to kind of resonate with you. Even though we have very different experience. From Portugal to live in UK, but your experience is very much from mine. But in the same way, it allows us to see cycling in London, in the UK, in a very different light in how people interact, how people welcome each other to clubs and so on. And it's so I think I just wanted to stress that aspect.
Yeah. Also, one of the things as well, it's more like if I feel like I don't feel welcome in a place, not just cycling, but in general, like anywhere.
Yeah.
Again, it's more my mindset, and again, this is I think relatable to the Filipino mindset. It's like life's too short. Don't stress out. Just if no one likes you, just move on. Don't waste your time. Just just be happy and carry on with your day. And so that's why I've never really let a lot of negativity get into me, get me. So again, that's just the way that I was kind of brought up. So
no, that's brilliant. I think that's a brilliant way to go about, because there are things that are inevitably out of your control. You can you can't control everything in life, and if you focus on what you can control, what you can do to be better, what you can do to better yourself, then that's that will then ripple across the people, your relatives, your family, your friends, and that kind of that positive energy will grow with you and with the people around you. I mean, there's I think I wanted to ask you this because it's such an important question as part of the podcast, which is do you have ambitions that from where you started post COVID to where you're now, and then do you have any ambitions that of where you'd want to take perhaps the your club, Too Much Carbs, or where you see yourself like, I want to do this because it will help me and my friends get better experiences, go more adventure, so on.
I think for me, I've got a few plans. So especially coming back from the Philippines now, it's more obviously I want to sort of be a good representation for the Asian community. And also it's more, I really want to give more exposure to the cycling community in Asia, not just Philippines, but in Asia in general, because it's not really spoken about. No one really talks about it. When people go on holiday, it's always going to either Mallorca, Girona, like always the same places. No one really goes that side of the world. And, tickets are not expensive. Like my ticket to Philippines was only £400, and I can bring 2 suitcases and you can basically claim one as a bike. So it's not that expensive. Again, it depends on the time that you go. Sometimes it'll be a little more. But I think my biggest ambition for me now is to sort of just give a bit more awareness to the cycling scene in the Asian community here and obviously in Asia. Because again, it's like I don't really think people know about it as much. And to be fair, I was the same. Like before I went to Philippines last year, I didn't know that there was a big cycling community in the Philippines. And when I went there, and I was like, wow, it's really big. Like people are like, these guys are strong. These guys are only on £400 bikes, but they're dropping me on a climb. Because they're always cycling when it's really hot, like similar to Portugal where the climate's always hot, 35-degree heat, and people are like so strong. So it's more or less that, like just sort of just give more awareness to the Asian community.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get to see you as a cycling ambassador for
Philippines. That would be great.
I mean, that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, there's also a kind of an element, that perhaps through this content that you share on social media or with your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you get to educate and entertain more people about kind of the benefits, the joy of riding in the Philippines, for instance. And that will start opening doors for people. It's like, oh, I never thought of these locations to ride my bike. Well, tell me more. And that might snowball into opening up an experience for more people to come with you.
Hopefully, because I mean, hopefully, because it's not even just the Philippines. Like South Korea, I've cycled in South Korea. It's really nice to cycle there as well. Like Taiwan is a big place to cycle because a lot of the bikes are made in Taiwan. Like Giant is a Taiwan company. China has a lot. Japan has a lot. so I've been to a few parts of Asia where I've cycled, but this was before I started making content, so I couldn't really document it. But yeah, it would just be nice to give more, it'll be nice when I hear people go, oh, I'm going to go to Philippines to cycle for 2 weeks, or instead of going to Girona, for example, just something different. I mean, I'm not bad mouthing Girona or Mallorca or anything like that. I mean, they're very beautiful places to go to, but if you want the whole cultural experience, and because like when we were there in, let's say, Philippines for 2 weeks, it was basically the first week was cycling, second week we went island hopping, so you get a proper holiday out of it as well.
Yeah, and also there's the cultural element. You
Exactly,
get to experience a very different culture, get to experience a very different cuisine,
exactly,
history of the country.
Exactly,
it's
that,
kind of a whole version if you are into that kind of experience, cultural experience. Well, yeah. I mean, I think there you go. Yeah, that sounds like there's a call to action here for people listening that want to explore more, want to get in touch with you. Then please do.
Definitely, yeah.
So, well, I wanted to ask a question that I ask of all my guests, and I think hopefully encapsulates everything that we've been talking about, and which is, what does success mean to you personally?
Good question. Honestly, I haven't thought about it that much. At the moment, I'm just kind of going with the flow kind of thing, because again, it's one of those things. I think, okay, it's good to have goals. I have goals in regards of like, I want to achieve, again, get the Asian cycling community out there, give them more exposure. But in regards of like success, I think for me personally, if you start thinking about that too much, then you start putting too much pressure on yourself. And then you kind of lose the fun of it. It's like, so I used to run before I started cycling, I actually had my own business before. And it's one of those things where I realized if your goal is to earn this much, you kind of lose the focus of enjoying the process, build it, and make it. I said, like, it's good to have end goals, but make it more something that you will enjoy doing. People's goal is to, I want to have X amount of followers, or I want to earn this much by the end of the year. But when that's your goal and you don't hit it, it's gonna, it kind of hits your ego a little bit. And so what I've learned when I was running my business to what I'm doing now with cycling, I do have, like, as I said, is to build more awareness within the Asian community. But, that could be something like, oh, I make a reel and it became viral. That's perfect. I've done what I achieved to do, and I just need to continue doing it.
Yeah. Or just give a bit of contrast here on the conversation. What were you doing before when you were running your business?
So I had an agency that helped promote companies in the West to the Asian markets. So so it was like promoting brands and whatever company that wanted to have a foot in the Asian markets. So I was doing a lot of cross-cultural marketing, and it was the same thing. I was helping Western brands promote here. And I stopped the business maybe just over 2 years ago because I got sick, because I was basically overworking. And this is when I was like, so I ended up getting an ulcer in my stomach because of stress. It's called ulcerative colitis. And basically it was due to stress. And that apparently that's really, really rare on Asians. It's very rare for Asians to get it, but I got it. So I think that was a sign of like, okay, I need to slow down, and kind of, that's when I kind of like was just too tunnel vision on my work, and I kind of lost who I was in a way. And so that's when I, like cycling and I'm doing what I'm doing now, it kind of made me re-find myself in a way of who I really am.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's it's interesting. I had the previous guests, which you might know, Donna McConnell, aka the Iron Empress, and she said
very lovely, by the way. Very lovely.
And she said about, I'm paraphrasing, and apologies if I'm butchering this, but she said something along the lines, I'm no longer chasing life-work balance. I'm chasing bike-life balance.
Yeah.
Where the bike gives me pleasure, and, I try to prioritize that. And in a similar way, kind of way, that kind of stress related illness, ulcer, is just like
Exactly.
put also as well a kind of a gave you a wake up call, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
hold on,
Yeah.
this is actually causing me harm. Let me
Yeah.
let me
Yeah.
reassess my priorities here. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
want this is not how I see my life
Yeah.
panning out.
Yeah. It's exactly that, and that's where the sort of I don't want to make the same mistakes as I did when I was running my company to what I'm
Mhm.
doing now, because again, you do lose the fun of it. Like if I took it
Yeah.
too seriously, I mean, there are times when you need to take it seriously when it comes to like, if brands are talking to you and things like that. But again, for me, I think as well, I've been blessed in a way that I've hadn't had to contact brands just yet. They've sort of just
Mm.
messaged me and I'm like, okay, I'm very grateful for that. Like, I always say it's not me, it's more the people who support my channel and whatever that's made it all happen. And I've been lucky in that regard that I haven't had to
Mhm.
look for brands to work with. And I think for me personally, I'm not sure if I would ever go down that route, because then you kind of
Yeah.
lose the enjoyment of, you just want to ride a bike. You just want to
Yeah.
have fun. And, again, this is also a hobby for me.
Mm.
So I don't want to lose it's one of those things where if you make your hobby into something too serious, you kind of lose the fun out of it. Like that's why you get like pro cyclists who stop cycling when they retire because they've lost the enjoyment. And I don't ever want to get into the stage of like, I've lost the fun. I want to be in a situation where I can introduce cycling to my kids in the future, take them on adventures, and they can do their own thing afterwards as well with it.
Yeah. I mean, that's it. Yeah. It's a very important part of kind of understanding a bit more of your priorities.
Yeah.
Is like, I want to be able to enjoy the
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And, yes, you have a end goal,
Yeah.
but never forget that the journey that gets you there, because
Exactly
that's
that.
where you get the most
Fun.
enjoyment, that's got the most fulfillment, that's
Yeah.
where it gives you the most purpose as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And that's I think that is a very valuable lesson to
Yeah.
anyone, because you have to enjoy what you're doing. If you're not,
Exactly.
then the goal that you set yourself, it's is
It's gonna
causing
eat you up.
more harm
Yeah.
than is you the benefits you're reaping from it.
Oh yeah, it's gonna eat you up. It'll eat you up, and
Yeah.
then you end up not enjoying it, and then you just end up stopping. Yeah. So
Yeah, very brilliant there. So I wanted to now bring to kind of a section of the podcast where I started a tradition where every guest leaves a question to my next guest, not
yeah.
knowing who they are.
Okay.
And the question that was left for you is the following:
Okay.
how do you deal with mistakes and failures in your life?
Oh, that's a good one. And I've had a lot of my mistakes, and I always tell people you have to fail to learn things. Don't ever be afraid of failure. But whenever I make a mistake, it's always one of those things where I kind of think to myself, okay, have I done my best? Right? Was that mistake out of my control, or was it something that I could have prevented? If it's
Yeah.
something that I can't control, again, this is what we were talking about earlier of things that you can't control, you just let it be. You can't
Yeah.
you can't change someone's mind, you can't do this and stuff like that. But if it's something that you can control, I always say, okay, do better next time. You've
Mhm.
learned from this mistake. Always just learn from what you did wrong, and that's how you always improve. Because again, when I started when I was doing my business the first time, I've made a ton of mistakes, and I just learned along the way. And it's the same thing with cycling. If you've made something wrong, like a mistake or whatever, learn from it. For
Mhm.
example, if you're going clipless pedals for the first time, you fall down, you make a mistake, you're going to learn from that, and you're going to be like, okay, next time I have to do this so I don't fall down. So just don't stop failing. Fail as much as you can until you learn how to basically not do it again.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way to contextualize this question.
Yeah.
I will say I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Failure is part of learning, and
Yeah.
without failure, you can't learn, because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
If
exactly.
you,
You can't control things. And it's one of those things where if you let it get to you, like I always tell people that I know to me, and this is just from my experience, don't let stress get to you. If you do let get to you, if you are stressed, what I like to do is I just take 5 deep breaths just to refresh myself, or just go outside, drop what you're doing, just go outside and kind of reboot, because stress is what prevents you from thinking straight. So
precisely.
So I was like, you need to be more sort of have a clear mind, and then that's when you really think about stuff. You can think clearly.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Valuable, actionable advice. That take away for sure.
Yeah.
No, but it does put in perspective that, you do your best work, when you are enjoying it, and stress is not conducive to creating. It's sometimes when you harness that stress to trying to focus on a task, for a specific period of time, that can be kind of the right prompt to get you moving. But if you stress is the kind of all of what you feel when doing your job, when you trying to create something, then it's kind of can become a very negative kind of source of energy, and that then limits what you can achieve. And you really have to, well, as you said, perhaps take a pause, enjoy the outdoors, go for a bike ride.
Exactly.
Because that pause helps you recalibrate and take perspective, take stock of what really matters.
And also one thing as well, because I make this mistake sometimes as well, and I just stop myself from doing it, is never compare yourself to someone else. Because that's the worst thing that you can do, because then you'll be like, oh, this person's doing this, he's done better than me. But then that's when you compare yourself to someone, you expect yourself to perform or do what they're doing. And that's very, very toxic. So I stopped. So what I usually do a lot of times is on social media, so I don't compare myself to anyone, is I post what I want to post, close it. Because when I start seeing other stuff from other people and I'm like, oh, he did this, she did this, and then you become like, oh no, it stresses you out even more. And I'm like, okay, don't do that. So
100%. And that is, social media channels are designed and engineered to
do that,
suck you in and keep you there for as long as possible, because that's how they earn the money. You are the product. But he's also saying, and I wanted to kind of touch on that, where you said about not comparison. Comparison is always said as the thief of joy.
It's the enemy,
and also points to a greater point, which is, when you are comparing yourself to others, you are living your life through other people's rules. And when you stop and assess that, and you stop to take stock of what that actually means, you are stealing yourself your potential. Because if you focus on what this is what I can do, these are my values, this is what I stand for, then that eliminating that kind of element of comparison, and you are being more true to yourself. And you don't, and what that means in simpler terms is that you're not afraid to be rejected by others, because you know who you are deep down.
Exactly that. Like you're fine with rejection. Rejection is always happening. You'd always get 1,000 no's before you get 1 yes. It's things like that. So yeah, definitely.
Brilliant. Well, we covered a lot of topics. We went left, right, center, and we covered a lot of topics. Which is brilliant. And that's the nature of these conversations. Like, it's free flowing, and we can explore a lot of it. And I think that's the brilliant side of getting.
It's great. It's been a great chat, to be fair. Like, you make me think a lot about certain things, like what I want to achieve now. I'm like, oh, what should I do?
Brilliant. Brilliant, Ray. It's been a huge honor and pleasure to have this conversation with you, get to know more, and I hope that I welcome listeners, people watching this, to get to know you, get to know a little bit more about your culture, your background, your heritage, and hopefully inspire them to explore outside of their comfort zone as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this conversation, I invite you to send it to 2 people who you think might enjoy it as well. And if you haven't already, make sure to follow Ride to Success wherever you listen to the podcast. Thank you for listening.